My child, stop for a moment and listen carefully, because this moment is not passing before you by accident. You did not arrive here by chance, and these words are not appearing before your eyes without purpose. I have interrupted the ordinary flow of your day because there is something your spirit must hear right now before doubt speaks louder than truth. There is someone already moving closer to your life, even now, under my instruction, under my timing, under my unseen direction, and you must not dismiss what I am saying simply because you cannot yet see the full picture. I know how often you have wondered whether I am still arranging anything for you behind the silence, whether I still move when days feel ordinary and nights feel heavy, whether heaven still remembers the details you no longer speak aloud because disappointment taught you to pray more quietly. But hear me now. While you were trying to survive what drained you, while you were trying to make sense of delays that stretched longer than you expected, while you were asking why certain doors stayed closed and why certain answers seemed hidden, I was already moving a person through circumstances you do not know, through roads you cannot trace, through timing, music you could not control, because I had already decided that your present season would not remain empty forever. Do not scroll past this word in your heart. Do not treat this like another passing message, because what I am revealing concerns something already written before your present confusion even began. Someone has already been assigned in heaven, and whether you recognize it now or later, my hand has already touched their path in relation to yours. Before your tears formed into prayer, before your loneliness became words, before your heart even understood what was missing, I had already begun preparing an answer that carried breath, voice, history, and movement. You believe sometimes that because no immediate sign appeared, nothing was being arranged. But my child, I do not begin when you finally speak. I begin long before your lips move. I knew the emptiness that would visit you before you admitted it even to yourself. I knew the questions that would rise inside you during nights when you looked strong outside but felt weary within. I knew which burdens would become too heavy for you to carry alone. And because I knew, I did not wait until the moment you cried. I had already chosen someone before the prayer reached your mouth. I had already marked timing before your understanding caught up with my plan. This is why you must stop thinking that heaven reacts only after desperation becomes visible. I move from wisdom you cannot measure. I prepare from places your eyes cannot enter. The answer I shaped did not begin when your pain became unbearable. It began while you were still unaware that one day you would need what I had already decided to send. And what makes this holy is that what I prepared is not merely an event, not merely a sudden circumstance, but in part an answer carried in human form, because sometimes what I release into a life must arrive through someone who carries exactly what the season requires. Many miss my answers because they are waiting for thunder when I choose footsteps. Many look for extraordinary signs while ignoring ordinary arrivals. Many expect miracles to descend in ways that remove all mystery. Yet, often my miracles enter quietly, wearing faces that do not immediately announce why they matter. Listen closely. Not every answer shines when it first appears. Not every divine movement announces itself with dramatic sound. Sometimes the very thing prayed for enters quietly through conversation, through encounter, through reconnection, through presence so ordinary that only spiritual attention notices the difference. This is why many have watched blessings pass by, because they judged too quickly what did not appear supernatural enough. But I tell you now, some miracles arrive dressed in simplicity. Some turning points enter through ordinary introductions. Some of the greatest shifts I create begin in moments people almost overlook because they expected something louder. Do not assume that because something looks simple, it cannot be sacred. I have often hidden major answers inside moments that looked ordinary until time revealed what my hand had done. The face of what I send may not match the picture you built in fear, memory, or imagination. But my purpose does not weaken because appearance looks familiar. There is mystery in what I am telling you, because you may already know this person without knowing why your spirit keeps noticing them. You may soon meet them without understanding why the encounter feels strangely timely. You may unexpectedly hear from someone again after distance, silence, or forgotten time, and you may wonder why the moment feels heavier than coincidence. I'm telling you this because heaven marks certain crossings long before human memory does. There are meetings I appoint before either side understands why the path exists. There are names I preserve in silence until the appointed season arrives. There are people whose journeys seem unrelated until one moment reveals that their road and your road were always moving toward a shared point designed by me. So, do not assume that because someone belongs to your past, they cannot reappear with new meaning. Do not assume that because someone feels unfamiliar, they cannot carry something deeply connected to your future. I govern timing in ways you cannot predict, and I know how to preserve what matters until your soul can receive it without destroying it through fear or impatience. This is why I warn you now. Do not dismiss too quickly anyone entering your season simply because you have learned caution through old pain. I know why you protect your heart. I know betrayal taught you distance. I know disappointment trained you to pull back before hope rises too high. I know how quickly your mind compares every new movement to what once wounded you. But if you judge every arrival through old injury, you may fail to recognize what is entering under my permission. I am not telling you to trust blindly. I am telling you to remain spiritually awake. There are moments when major turning points enter disguised as simple meetings, simple conversations, simple opportunities, simple presence. The danger is that wounded memory often labels everything ordinary before discernment has time to listen. Yet, many of the greatest changes I bring begin quietly before significance becomes obvious. A conversation can shift direction. A meeting can unlock what delay covered. A person can carry a key you did not know was missing. This is why you must not rush to close your heart where I may be opening something. Type, Amen. I receive it, Lord, if you're ready for His blessing today. What I send in this season is connected to more than surface comfort. This person carries connection to healing, to restoration, to direction, to protection, where to break through in ways you do not yet fully understand. That does not mean they replace me. It means I sometimes use human vessels to deliver what a season requires. There are moments when healing comes because someone speaks truth where silence lived too long. There are moments when direction appears because someone confirms what your spirit has struggled to name. There are moments when protection arrives because I place wisdom near you before danger fully reveals itself. There are moments when breakthrough begins because someone carries access, perspective, courage, where peace that shifts what has remained locked. You have prayed often for change without realizing that part of what you asked for would arrive through relationship, through encounter, through presence I intentionally position near your path. This is why I am speaking carefully now, because what I release may first look ordinary until its effect begins unfolding. Hear my authority in this clearly. Music. I did not send them by accident. I released them when your soul became ready. I waited because timing protects what heaven sends. And certain arrivals entered earlier, you would not have understood them. Had some people reached you before certain lessons shaped you, fear would have misread them, immaturity would have mishandled them, pain would have resisted them. I delayed what you thought should happen sooner because readiness matters more than speed. I know the state of your inner life better than you do. I know when your heart can receive without collapsing under old reactions. I know when wisdom has grown enough to recognize what matters. I know when certain chapters must close before new movement enters safely. So, when I say I released them when your soul became ready, understand that what appears delayed often arrives at the first moment your spirit can carry what comes with it. Timing is not punishment. Timing is protection, preparation, and mercy working together. And before this message reaches its deep or unfolding, hold this final truth in your heart. Before this message ends, you will understand why this connection could change what has been delayed. Not because one person becomes everything, but because I often choose one meeting, one arrival, one conversation, one reconnection, one simple crossing to begin shifting what long remained still. What you call delay may already be moving. What you thought remained untouched may already be under my hand. What seemed silent may already be gathering form beyond your sight. So, remain attentive now. Let your spirit stay open. Refuse quick judgment. Refuse fear-led conclusions. Because what I am revealing is not fully unfolded yet, and what appears simple at first may carry more of my intention than you presently see. My child, listen closely because I want you to understand something your heart has often struggled to believe when days became long and silence seemed endless. Heaven does not begin working only when you finally speak your pain aloud. I do not wait for your voice before I move. I do not wait for tears before I begin arranging what your future will require. Long before your thoughts became prayers, long before your loneliness became something you could no longer hide behind strength, long before your heart reached that place where you whispered in secret that you needed something to change, I had already begun setting answers into motion beyond what your eyes could see. This is why you must not measure my activity by what you immediately feel, because much of what I do begins in silence where human understanding cannot enter. You often think that if nothing visible changes, then nothing is happening. But my child, some of my most important movements begin where no human eye can detect them, where no outward sign confirms them, where your only experience is waiting while heaven quietly builds what will later appear at exactly the appointed time. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us by giving link in description or pin comment to show your support. Before you understood the true shape of your own need, I already knew it completely. Before you admitted how tired your soul had become, I knew where exhaustion was settling inside you. Before you realized how deeply loneliness had stretched through your quiet moments, I had already seen every night where you carried thoughts you did not share with anyone. Before confusion reached the point where you began asking why certain things remain unclear, I had already traced every hidden burden pressing on your spirit. I know the parts of you that speak and the parts of you that remain silent. I know the questions you ask openly and the ones you bury because even speaking them, music, feels difficult. I knew when your smile no longer told the full story. I knew when your strength became something you wore because you did not know what else to do. I knew when hidden exhaustion settled so deeply that even hope became something you carried carefully. Music. And because I knew, I did not wait for you to explain it to music me. I began answering before your understanding caught up with what your spirit was already carrying. The person I have spoken of was not selected at the moment your music tears finally came. They were not chosen when your loneliness became unbearable. They were not assigned after you reached the point of asking why certain seasons felt so empty. They were selected music before tears ever formed, before one silent cry reached your pillow, before one whispered prayer rose from a tired heart, before one uncertain thought asked whether change would ever come. I had already marked movement in ways you did not know. This is how my wisdom works. I prepare before panic. I arrange before urgency. I move before desperation understands what it needs. What feels delayed to you is often preparation already unfolding according music to timing greater than what your emotions can measure. I do not improvise your answers music when your pain becomes visible. I work from knowledge that saw your season before your season arrived. Divine timing often happens in silence because silence protects what is being formed. Music. Many things I prepare cannot be explained while they are still becoming ready. If I showed you every movement while it was unfinished, your fear would ask too many questions. Music. Your impatience would seek immediate understanding, and your mind would try to force what still needed quiet shaping. So, I often allow silence, not because I have withdrawn, but because silence becomes the hidden place where preparation matures safely. While you thought heaven had become quiet, movement was already happening.